Hi, I'm Liz Vaughn with Chesapeake Television. Today, we're taking a look back at some of the episodes of Peak Life that we've done in the past, but are still relevant today. So Peak Life is a show that we do to bring you information from the experts on topics that affect your day-to-day life here in Chesapeake. Lots of great information is available in many episodes that we keep on our YouTube page, which you can find at youtube.com/Chesapeake Television. So for this episode, let's start off talking recycling. Back in 2018, I spoke with President and Owner of TFC Recycling, Mike Benedetto, about all things recycling, including information about that family-owned business, and of course, what you can and can't recycle. Take a look. But you know, there's a lot of things that we can put in the blue bin, a lot of things that we can't. So let's kind of break that down a little bit. And we have some examples here, but give us a general overview of what can go into the recycling bin.
Sure. So we try and simplify it because if you make things complicated, it can be real challenging to get the message across to people. So we try and say paper, bottles, and cans.
Okay.
If you live in the city of Chesapeake and you've got one of the recycling containers, on the lid is the information with a little bit more details than just paper, bottles, and cans. So there's also other opportunities to the website to see if you forget, but paper, bottles, and cans are really what we're targeting.
Paper, bottles, and cans. So bottles, we are talking plastic, like this one here.
Yes.
Right, plastic. Now, of course, the common question is the lids. You used to not be able to recycle the lids. Is that still the case? At
one time, there was a little challenge. If you have the bottle itself and you look at the lid, it is a different type of plastic.
Sure.
And sometimes there's actually a film, too, that would be on the bottle. All we ask for is that the bottle be empty.
Okay.
And the reason that we ask for that is, as it's traveling down a conveyor belt, we're having cameras that are optically sorting the plastic bottle. So as it gets to the end of the conveyor belt, there's an air jet, and we want it to fire and be thrown away from the other types of material. And so if it's heavy, it just falls right down. We want that air jet to fire it. So bottles empty are good.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, you recently added things like this, the cartons.
Yes.
That's a new addition, especially here in Chesapeake. So things like, you know, these little half-gallon of milks or however much this is, the soup that you can put in a box type thing.
Yes.
How do you make these additions? Like, why the change all of a sudden to being able to recycle this versus what you couldn't before?
Well, we're seeing more and more cartons. It might be plastic in the past, or it might have been glass. So whether it be soup or some type of milk, they're in cartons now. And the cartons are able to be recycled. There's a misnomer that this is a wax carton, but it's really not. It's a poly, so it's a plastic on the inside, and they're actually able to pull the plastic away from the fiber, and the folks that are making these type of containers are able to take them back, remove the fiber, remove the caps and the other plastics, and then turn it back into new containers.
So let's talk real quick about some of the other no's. I mean, this one's like number one, right? Why are plastic bags so terrible to put in the blue bin?
So plastic bags are a problem for two reasons. And we're not saying that they're not recyclable, because you can bring them back to your grocery store. However, we promote reduce, reuse, and recycle. So bringing a bag that you can reuse over and over again is our preference. If you have a choice between plastic and paper, paper is a better option, and you can put that in your recycling container. The plastic bags are used by supermarkets because they're less expensive and they take up less space. So they want to give you plastic bags, and once you have that plastic bag, as long as you're not putting it into the recycling container, we're okay with it. There are opportunities to recycle at the grocery stores. The problem we run into is we refer to it as an urban tumbleweed. So if it goes into our truck, it might blow out of the truck. If it gets dumped out of our truck, it might blow on our property. It wraps in our equipment. The process that we use has a lot of things that turn, and plastic bags have a tendency to wrap. And if they wrap, they become real challenging to get off. In fact, even a fire hazard, where we've had issues before in the past from items that wrap, such as plastic bags.
So no plastic bags. And honestly, the list of what we hear people asking about could just go on and on forever. So your website, tfcrecycling.com, right? We'll send people there. They can also go to our website, I know, cityofchesapeake.net/recycle. We try and list all of those common items that you don't want in the bin. So we'll keep doing that. But Mr. Benedetto, thank you so much for being here. There's so much more we could talk about, but I appreciate you coming on.
Thank you. I appreciate it too. Thanks, Liz.